Sorry I'm late to the party, but yeah, I want to cover this article about these Chelsea journalists, I think led by Simon Phillips, that have sat with the Chelsea board and discussed the project and some of the issues that have come about. I'm not a big fan of Simon Phillips, to be honest, the way we've covered Chelsea in the past, but I'm also not a big fan of Clearlake, so no problem with me calling this one down the middle. All I care about is this right here. So let's go. So the main issues raised are, youth focused recruitment, inexperience across the club, gaps within the squad, whether the project is realistic and can deliver trophies, and whether Chelsea's ambition to win titles, whether it's to win titles or simply secure top four finishes. Okay. Firstly, they're saying they cannot compete financially with PSG, Bayern, Barca, Real Madrid, or Man City. I don't know how Barcelona have made that list because I swear they're broke as hell. They can't afford anyone or anything. They're like crazy in debt and they even like renting out their stadium for weddings just to make ends meet. So I'm not sure how that happens, but hey, I'm not an accountant. But they're saying because of that, they can't just go out splashing the cash because they'll always be one step behind those five clubs. So they're aiming towards sustainability and youth. They also understand that they haven't found the right balance between competition and sustainability. And they also know that knockout competitions, as great as they are to win, it's not a barometer of how to, measure a team's quality. We need league titles and high finishes in the league. They've also taken another parting shot into Enzo Maresca, saying his ability to influence games from the bench wasn't up to scratch as well. And what this has said is quite similar to what I felt. I feel like their philosophy and their strategy isn't actually bad. It's just the delivery of it hasn't been as good as it should be. If we're going to go for young talent, we shouldn't be letting Shirky go to City for 30 million. We should be getting much better players than some of the ones we brought in. But okay, if we can steer the ship right, then I can get on board with it, to be honest. And in terms of their rebuild, they want a younger squad, more sustainable wages, and building towards the future. But also accept that we need to be in the Champions League every year. And they're saying also, pretty bold statement, is that the significant amount of groundwork has been laid. So if they're not lying to us, what we should see moving forward is more marquee signings. No more 30 mils for these young players. The groundwork's there, the youth there, the core of the team should be there. So what we need now is maybe 2 or 3 huge signings that are going to take us to that next level. No more just middle ground signings that are just going to add to the whatever already is a bulky squad. And I agree, we have a very strong core. I'd say we've got at least 5 world-class players. We have a lot of great prospects. And we have quite a few, good squad players that are useful in the rotation. So now we just need some stars. We need people to match Cole Palmer, Caicedo, that Cucurella, that level of talent. But at centre-back, as a goalie, I'd say even, and also as a striker, that's what we need really to just take us at the next level. And that's what we will see in the pre-season next season if these guys aren't just talking for the hell of it. They're also saying that PSR is also a factor they're considering, which I get. I know a lot of the reason why we're in PSR is because of them, but I get they're also trying to undo some of what Abramovich was doing behind the scenes. And, some of the things like they're selling off the stadium and selling off the training ground to make up for the revenue. I think that what they've done, they've kind of used that as a loan so they can use that money to buy young players to eventually sell for a profit. That's just me speculating. So they've kind of used that as a loan to make profit further down the line, and they'll use that profit to reinvest in the squad. That is what I think is happening. I'm not an accountant, so don't quote me on that, but that's just what I think. Now, here's where it kind of gets messy, and I think they're trying to save face a bit because they're saying they want Chelsea to have sustainable success, not to just spike, win a league and then fall, which is what we did quite a bit under Abramovich, let's be real. I'm not mad at that, but they're trying to take a shot at Arsenal, saying they want to have success, not just fall short. But if there's anything you can't take shots at Arsenal for right now, it's sustainability. Being trophyless, yeah, let's have our digs, but Arsenal are the most sustainable team in the world at the moment, to be honest. Even if they're not reaching the actual pinnacle in terms of being an elite team, they've got it. They've got the stadium, they've got the profits, they've got the squad. Like, if Arteta goes tomorrow and someone comes in, they're going to be a top 4 team. Let's be real. They're going to be thereabouts. That's one place you really can't be taking shots at Arsenal about. Like, let's know who we're talking about. But in terms of their transfer policy, they don't want to veer away from that just for short-term gain. Like, if it makes sense, they'll do it, but whatever. So they're saying Semenya, for example, with the wage budget, it's disrupting the structure. They'd do it if it meant it would make the difference between us winning a trophy or not. But if not, they're not going to do it. But let's be real, Semenyo rejected us. Like, you're not going to pull the wool over my eyes. We know what you're doing. Semenyo rejected us. So, yeah, here I'm not really a fan of what the direction they're going in this paragraph, not going to lie. Now, this one as well, they're taking more shots at our rivals, saying they don't want to make reckless decisions. For example, signing injury-prone strikers, which is obviously Alexander Isak, as well as signing high potential options like Ekatike. But you signed neither. So what are you talking about? We had Ekatike on a plate. So what are you talking about right now? I get it, we got João Pedro as a good signing, but you got Delap. If you're saying you'd rather have Delap than Ekatike, then what are we doing here? You're not trying to be elite, are you? Because you even said he's a high potential option. He was expensive, but that's what you need. When it's one of the absolute best high potential options, they're going to be expensive. But you flopped on that one. And obviously Havertz and Gyökeres, who are on 250k a week, but have like less resale value because their wages. That's a fair critique, but yeah, to be honest, I don't think, again, what Arsenal are doing, I don't think their strategy was bad. It's just the delivery was bad. You know what I mean? If they got a striker, if Gyökeres had 20 goals already, no one will be chatting about Gyökeres' price tag. Just that they went for the wrong player. Not like it just didn't work out. And the same with Havertz, really. They got the wrong player. They should have got someone more established or just generally better. There's also a small bit about Maresca, pretty much saying they're not going to flog a dead horse. The situation's done, it broke down, and that's it. Fair. You know my thoughts on that anyway. And they're out and out denying that they had any sway on Maresca's team selection. And they have a great medical team, so they cleared how many minutes players can play. Which is fair, like literally every medical team does that, so there's no issue here. And even they said if a player's only cleared for 45 minutes, it's Maresca's decision to decide which half he's going to play, which is fair. And he also said, in terms of the fan backlash of Palmer being subbed, I can't remember the game, I think it was against Bournemouth. They're putting it on Maresca, which is fair. If he wasn't cleared to play 90 minutes and Maresca's told us all that he can play 90 minutes, of course we're going to be mad at that. But yeah, again, that's Maresca miscommunicating with us, so can't really put that on the board. I'm never going to criticize anyone for looking out for someone's medical welfare, especially when it's their job. So people that are in uproar about that, it's just weird to me, man. I'm not too sure about this bit, to be honest. They've outright denied that Maresca wasn't consulted on these signings, but admit he did want to send it back. Well, they had to admit that he said it on flipping a press conference. But he said there was no suitable option after Hodgson. But yeah, and Liverpool found themselves in a similar position. But the thing is, Liverpool went for Mark Guehi. We didn't go for anyone. I think they also said something like he wasn't going to sanction departures. To be honest, that if that kind of makes sense, I've been saying that you should have sold Tosin and got someone else. And also, yeah, because if we don't sell anyone, we have 5 senior centre-backs, including Disasi. And if PSR's a factor, you can't just get in a centre-back. But you say that you were willing to get Dean Huijsen, so it also contradicts itself. As much as it makes sense, it contradicts what you're saying. If you can get Huijsen, you can get another centre-back. It's that simple. And in terms of Liam Rosenior, the board are saying he's not the unknown quantity or wild card that everyone's touting him out to be. They've worked with him for 18 months. They like him. They think he's intelligent. They think he's good at the job. He's already proved himself against the likes of Lewis Enrique and Glasner come out on top. He's had the youngest squad in Europe and nearly finished in the Champions League spot. So, they rate him and they're saying that we should too. I really want them to be right. I like him already. I've been on board. You can see it in my videos. I'm all in. In terms of transfers moving forward, they want another attacking option after Semenyo, who fell through, and they also want a centre-back and striker, but also understand they've got young prospects on the books already. So that's pretty much it. They're talking a good game here, but I'm not going to lie, I feel like they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes a little bit by talking about the failures of our rivals, but at least they're trying and they're closer to what we're looking to be than us. So they're in no position to be pointing and laughing at Liverpool or Arsenal for their failures, because even in their failures, they're doing better than us in the aspects they want to flipping excel in. So let's lock in, get a front of shirt sponsor. I'm actually annoyed. Why did they not ask about a front of shirt sponsor? But yeah, other than that, let's just see, man. Hopefully after our protest, they realise the pressure is on and they need to start delivering on what they're telling us they're going to do.